Let's get into complaints. Okay, so this is another step in the dispute process. This is going to help you build records, get responses, and move with strategy. Over here at the Golden University, we're all about moving with strategy and coming out the gate strong. All right, so I always break down consumer law in an easy digestible way so that you can apply it to your situations where you're dealing with debt collectors, credit bureaus, banks, finance companies that are violating your rights. Or again, you're just simply at the beginning, just fixing your credit. And I don't want you to get so caught up in legal jargon and not understanding every single law that you get frustrated and you say, you know what, nobody is breaking it down clear step by step what I need to do from beginning to end, right? Give me as much legal information as, or legal definitions that I need to know without overwhelming me to the point where I just get frustrated and I don't show up to court, which is why we get default judgments. And I just quit the whole dispute process and let it stay on my credit report for 7 years and let it affect me for 7 years. That is not something that I want you guys to do. And I guess let me just put my disclaimer here. I am not an attorney. None of this is legal advice. It is for educational purposes only. And yeah, so let's get into it. All right. Why complaints matter. There's going to be a time in your dispute process where an escalation step is going to be putting in your complaint. Create a record. Your facts, dates, proof, and requested outcome are organized in one place. When you go through the CFPB complaint, and I'll do a video on this, and it's also inside the school community. When you do a CFPB complaint, you'll see where you can kind of tell your story, give dates, upload your proof, and everything like that. You create a record. Get a response path. The right portal can move the issue into a company or agency review process. So it kind of puts the pressure on them to review and, not violate your rights. Okay, and then it builds leverage, right? A complaint can support your timeline, escalation, and paper trail, right? So now another agency that is regulating these companies has an eye on, okay, not only am I telling the credit bureaus and the furnisher is the anybody who's furnishing information on your account, those collection accounts, right? Being specific. Now another agency is able to look and say, oh, this is the things that you're doing, because the CFPB, the FTC, they're able to bring forth claims against companies that we aren't able to. So that's why complaints matter, right? That's why complaints matter. That's why this step in the dispute process matters. The complaint map. The CFPB, consumer financial issues like credit reporting, debt collection, auto loans, credit cards, banks, mortgages, and loan servicing. When it comes to those type of dispute products, because a lot of people, the collections on your account are loans or credit cards, excuse me, you're going to create a CFPB complaint. FTC is for fraud, scams, identity theft, deception, and bad business practices. So if you've, again, we went over in another video, when going through the dispute process and setting it up to expose deception, you can go ahead and do not only a CFPB complaint, but an FTC complaint as well, right? Then we have Attorney General, state consumer complaints, local business issues, dealer issues, scams, and state law patterns, okay? Because your Attorney General is going to be with that of your state, all right? So that's more on a state level. So that's just upping it. CFPB complaints, credit reporting. These are the big three. Errors, disputes, investigations, mixed files, reinsertion, and bureau responses. If you have gone through the dispute process, sending out your initial dispute letter to the credit bureaus, and there are still errors reporting, you disputed, and they did not do a proper investigation, the files were mixed up, right? You have somebody else's file, you brought this up to them, they're not fixing it. Reinsertion, this happens a lot of the times where you'll be like, this debt came back as under a completely different name, under another date, and they didn't notify me about anything, right? And I know they didn't do an investigation, because what the last debt collector reported was completely different from what this debt collector is reporting. All right, so Credit reporting, debt collection, right? Collector conduct, account handling, payment issues, and collection disputes. So, not only can you make a complaint about your credit reporting, which is going to be with the credit bureaus, you can also make a complaint about the debt collectors as well. And you can also make a report about the banks, all right? So, this is consumer finance, auto loans, credit cards, bank accounts, mortgages, and loan servicing. FTC complaints, scams and fraud, fake promises, fake businesses, suspicious calls, texts, emails, websites, or payment requests, identity theft. A report can support your record when your personal information was misused. All right, so if you have been a victim of identity theft, actually in the process of disputing information on your credit report that you are a victim of identity theft with, this identity theft report is actually mandatory. All right, so you need to know that. Pattern reporting, reports help law enforcement see repeated bad conduct and consumer harm, right? This is where you get those class action lawsuits where you see the FTC suing companies, the CFPB suing companies, because they have different claims that they can bring forth against these companies versus us. So and I'm not even going to cap to you, a FTC report and a CFPB complaint sometimes may not be enough to get in a deleted account, but it helps them understand, okay, this is a repeated offender, and if you ever have to escalate it to court, that you can take that into consideration as well. All right, but a lot of the times, with the methods that we have into play, you're going to get deletions quick. Attorney General complaints, and again, this is that state level pressure. Your state office may review consumer complaints against businesses. Mediation pass. Many offices offer mediation, referrals, or a business response process. And then again, it just shows that local patterns of complaints can help your state spot repeat issues with companies or industries, and, therefore they can take action on it. All right. Where to file first? 9 times out of 10, you're always going to file first with the CFPB, right? This is the financial product issues, because a lot of the times, if you're looking at your credit report right now, or you have collections on your credit report, 9 times out of 10, it has to do with a loan or a credit card. All right. Scam or identity theft pattern, we're going to then take it to the FTC if, again, we've been disputing and have exposed deceptive patterns when it comes to not just the credit bureaus, but the debt collectors as well. We're going to up it, and we're going to let the FTC know that as well, that these debt collectors are being deceptive. Local business or state issue, that's going to be your Attorney General. After you've done those things, it's either going to be the CFPB and the Attorney General, or all three. And then you're going to keep copies of everything, right? Because again, we're all about keeping copies, because once we start out the gate hot, and then by the time we have to get to complaints, then the next thing is filing suit. All right. Before you file, company and account details, right? Dates and timelines, letters, emails, calls, screenshots, contracts, statements, disputes, and notices, right? And then you'll see in the CFPB report, and you'll see the outcome you want reviewed, right? What do you want out of this? Okay, this kind of is just like that last step before saying, okay, I'm not playing with you. It's that opportunity to put everything, right? It's kind of like I'm telling I've been disputing. I've been giving you an opportunity. I've been going through this dispute process. You've had conflicting information here. The credit bureaus don't want to do this. The debt collectors don't want to do this, what they're legally obligated to do. Now I'm laying the facts all out in front of the CFPB and the FTC. And the next step is definitely going to be laid out to a judge. So you choose. Do you want to delete it here, or do you want to take it a step further, which, wink, wink, we're going to take it a step further anyway once they delete the account after all of this, because obviously you're deleting the account because I've exposed all of the violations, and thank you. How to write a strong complaint, right? And it kind of it piggybacks off of this too. Facts, what happened, when it happened, what supports it, how it affected you, and what you want reviewed. That is literally that. If you don't memorize anything else from this video, memorize this. What a strong complaint looks like. because this is also what a strong claim looks like. You're able to point out the facts, you're able to say the timeline, you have proof, documentation beats conversation every time, how it impacted you, because when you're going after them for violations and damages, you need it. How did it impact you? Were you denied credit? Did you lose a job opportunity? Right? You need to have proof. We cross all of our T's and dot all of our I's over here at the Golden University. And then it's that resolution. What outcome do I want? Whatever is legally owed to me. What the highest extent that this court sees fit. Okay? After you file, save the proof, watch for dates, right? Track the company's response, review the response, and then use the next step, right? Escalate with a stronger record when needed. All right? So, but this is, as far as complaints are concerned, this is how you are going to use the CFPB, the FTC, and Attorney General's complaints. So how, when you're going to dispute with each of them, how you're going to dispute with them, and what makes up a strong dispute. All right? And keep your strategy realistic. A complaint is a record, right? It's organized proof, pressure, and official documentation. Facts shape results. Documents, agency authority, company response, and timing all matter, right? Use the full strategy. Pair complaints with disputes, demand letters, audits, timelines, and escalation. Last but not least, I want to give you guys the opportunity to join the Golden University, right? The school community takes you deeper every single time. Consumer law and complaint strategy. We are rolling out so many new classes this month because you guys need them, and they're in depth. Strategize. We're all about strategizing credit, debt, auto finance, strategizing plans to take when these companies violate your consumer rights, access, trainings, and breakdowns. But you're also going to have 24 access to me. I am inside of the school community. You can message me. You can ask questions anytime, all of that great stuff. My school community is my number one priority, and build confidence. You'll be able to spot violations and move with records and move with confidence, right? Move with confidence. Your confidence is key. And the only way that you build confidence is knowledge. Knowledge is going to build confidence every single time. And in every aspect of life, right? The more you know, the more confident you are about it. If somebody asks you your name, right? Are you gonna stutter? Are you going to the way that you answer says it all. Hey, is your name Natasha? Yes. Um I I think so. Right? Because you're confident. You know your name. You know your name. The same amount of confidence that you have when someone asks you things that you know for certain, right, is the same amount of confidence that we're going to build inside of the Golden University. So if you have any questions, my products, any ebooks or in-depth classes, and especially the school community link, because I do not want you guys to miss out on these classes that's dropping. It is in the description box below, and I will see you guys in the next video.